Alright guys, today I'm once again in Kingwood. A little bit different neighborhood, but the situation we've got here is bees. They're getting in above this bay window. I hope they're just up in that little chunk of that little ceiling cavity. I sincerely hope they have not gotten further up there inside the wall. I don't know for sure though. I won't know until I get into it. Looks like I've got some nice poison ivy growing up the side of the house to work with, which is great. Sure do love that stuff. But anyway, we're gonna pull off that piece of trim board right there and possibly a couple other pieces of trim and see about maybe we'll take that whole piece of plywood down there behind it if we have to. But like I said, I sincerely hope they're just right here behind in that little ceiling cavity above the bay window. The homeowner reported she thinks they moved in sometime last summer, so it's certainly a large colony. There's a lot of activity going. Okay guys, just want to make a quick update where we're at. This has been one heck of a mess to try to get this hive opened up because this little roof bumps out right here. I was having a hard time locating the bees. They are in the floor joists. I really expect them to be right here in the roof in this little empty cavity, but I'm actually amazed to find insulation there. Usually there's no insulation. I thought they were going to be there, but they're not. They were just going in through a convenient hole there. So you can see the combs there. They're between the floor joists. Shine a flashlight back in there and I can see comb pretty much as far as I can see. Hopefully we can get it all from the outside just by reaching in and grabbing it. I really don't want to have to go in these folks' house if I can help it, but that's where we're at right now. You can see there is a lot of bees. They're not too bad. They're a little aggressive, a little irritated. It's taken us over an hour to get this opened up, so understandably they're irritated. But anyway, we're going to start pulling out comb and strapping it in and go from there. Hey guys, I don't know if you can hear me or not through the roar of honeybees, but here's where we sit now. We did catch the queen quite some time ago. I didn't stop to take video of her. We've got our hive set up here on the edge of the roof of the house, hoping the bees will orient to it. The queen's in there in the cage. We did get all the comb out, but what I just did was sprayed bee quick in this cavity. And you don't see too many bees back there now. There was a great big ball of them back there on that back end. And when I sprayed that bee quick, it was just an ever-living roar that came out of here. I'm sitting right here in front of the entrance and they were flying out, running into my head, bumping into me. They're just trying to go anywhere but there. So anyway, I don't know if you can see on the roof or not where the combs were, but it took every bit of what I had to reach my arm in here, pull them out. I didn't have to go all the way to the back. That's what y'all are seeing is you know, about 4 or 5 feet back there, so obviously I couldn't reach that, but thankfully I was able to get a hold and get them all out. And so now we're just, like I said, doing some bee quick, trying to drive them out and get them to reorient to the box, and then I'll come back tonight and pick up the box. So that's all for now. It's a lot of bees. A lot of bees. Hey guys, we're back out here today on this job that I started, I guess 3 days ago on Friday. You recognize the house here. I'm not going to give you a full pan out, but it's the one, oh yeah, I started on Friday. It'll all be part of the same video. Anyway, I just want to show you what I got going on. When I had them on Friday, well, first off, we had, okay, there's your removal spot. First off, we had the box sitting up there on the roof, which would have worked great to catch all of the house bees and such that don't fly very well. And as we were standing here looking, getting ready to pack up and leave, the box just incredibly slid off the roof and fell to the ground. I don't know if I got pictures of it or not, but I had it shored up on 2x4, so everything was sitting level, and I guess 2 of those 2x4s just slipped and the whole thing slid out, which, you know, crashing down to the ground there. It was pretty scary, but miraculously everything was fine. The boxes even survived it. The white box got a little crooked, but it was okay. But anyway, I was having a real hard time on Friday getting the bees to orient to the box, and I don't know why. I caught the queen, I put her in there, and so I just kind of called it a night and figured they'd do their thing. Well, I came back by yesterday, which was Sunday, and I saw very little activity coming and going from the box, but I did see activity coming and going from up here on the wall, which had me concerned. I thought, well shoot, maybe they just left their queen, maybe there was 2 queens, I don't even know. But I come back today, opened the box, there are bees in the box, there's good activity in the box, the queen's still in there, she's still caged and looks fine. So I looked up here, and This is a rather small cluster. They had a huge cluster of bees up here in the roof, and it's all those house bees that couldn't find their way from here 2 feet to there. So God help them. They might not be the smartest bees in the world, but anyway, what I'm doing now is I've pulled out several handfuls of bees and introduced them to the box. They seem to be staying with the box just fine. There's some clustered up there, but I've put probably 2 pounds of bees on the box already, and most of them have run down into the box where they belong. So that's a good thing. But what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to get, you can see they're starting to cluster up there again. What I've actually done is I've taken my vacuum hose, stuck it on the end of my smoker, and then ran it up there into the back of the cavity, and I'm smoking from the back of the cavity to the front, trying to drive the bees forward. And it seems to be working pretty well. They're clustering up there in that corner again. I just reach up there about once every couple minutes and grab out another handful of bees and set them on the box. So it's working. It's tedious, but I don't want to do any more damage to try to open this house up anymore, so I can do it faster. So we're just going to take our time and haul them out of here a handful at a time, and hopefully get to the point that there's not enough in there that it really matters anymore, and those few remainders will find their way to the box. So that's where we're at for now. Okay guys, this is Tuesday night, 4 days after I started this cutout. I went back over to the house tonight to check on things, and there were still some bees hanging around up in the cavity above the window. Not enough to really concern me. I sprayed some, excuse me, some orange oil up there. I've heard the bees don't like orange oil. I didn't have any Bee Quick. And it seemed to drive them out some, but I think that might just be because I put it in the same bottle that the Bee Quick was in, so it might have still smelled like Bee Quick a little bit. But basically, there was maybe 100 bees that were up inside that cavity, and I figure that after 4 days of the box being, 2.5 feet away, and they couldn't figure it out, that they probably weren't going to. So I went ahead and brought the bees home tonight. Go back over there tomorrow or Thursday once I get some Bee Quick, and go ahead and treat the whole area and make sure there's no bees left. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and pop it open. It's pretty cold out. I think it's about 45 degrees outside, so I don't really want to be in the hive, but I've got to get in here and release this queen. She's been in the cage for 4 days. That's the longest I've ever left a queen in a cage. Looked at her last night and she looked okay, or yesterday evening, so hopefully she's still okay. You can see I've got the sugar water put on, and I've got the grass stuffed in the entrance to slow them down. So now we're going to pull it open and move our queen real quick. So bear with me. I know it gets dark. Actually, it's dark outside while I'm trying to do this work. And I don't know what the camera's going to show you as it sits here on this box, but I don't know. You're just going to see some darkness for a second. Pulled our hive open here. The queen is in this 3rd frame right here. Oh, 4th frame, I'm sorry. 4th frame, move to the back. There's a decent cluster of bees, although they're not clustering around the queen at all. But here she is in the cage. Let me pull the cage out so you guys can see her. Okay. There's our queen. I know I didn't get good video of her when I actually caught her, but now you guys can see her in there. She's small. She's surprisingly small. But I think she'll be okay. I hope. Let's go ahead and release her out of the cage. Shake her around a little bit so she wakes up. She's not wanting to move, that's for sure. There she is. She is really slow, guys. Really slow. See if she'll right herself there. There she is, hanging around the piece of that comb. Well, I don't know. I don't know if she'll make it or not. The bees don't even seem to really care about her. They don't seem to want to do anything with her. They're kind of starting to attend to her, but it disturbs me that they were clustered, not around her. Just a quick note, I'm going to go ahead and close up the hive, but I'll talk while I work. I mentioned on this, I think I mentioned on this cutout, this was the first one where, as I was doing the cutout, I discovered a supersedure queen cell. And, I usually don't get into the technicalities of queen cell, whether they're supersedure or swarm or whatever, but you know, it's when you actually discover one and you know what it is that makes it a little more interesting. And that was the case on this one. Was, you know, you find one queen cell stuck in the middle of a frame all by itself, or middle of a chunky comb. That's a supersedure cell. The reason that concerned me was because doing the cutout job, you discover a supersedure cell, and it had just recently hatched. I could tell because the wax was so really soft. So the concern is, did a virgin queen just hatch out and possibly hasn't offed the old queen yet? And that was a real concern of mine as I was doing the cutout, wondering, you know, do I have a situation where I have two queens? Because I caught this queen, you know, relatively quickly, and there was a good population of bees that were following her at the time. But then I got really concerned since I had her in the box, and I was having a hard time getting the bees to orient to the box. It concerned me that maybe there was a second queen. But, you know, after messing with them last night and getting that big cluster out of the house and putting them all back into the box, as soon as I put them on the box, they would run into it. So hopefully this is the only queen. Hopefully she at least had a chance to kill the old queen before I, you know, caught them and disturbed the whole cycle of things. Maybe she even had a chance to get mated, but, you know, it seems to me she's so tiny, I kind of wonder if she even got mated yet or not, or if she really did just hatch out. But I guess we'll find out. You know, it's been 4 days, and the bees were still wanting to hang out in the house, but I checked the cavity where they were and the cavity that they were in, hanging out now, and, you know, they're not building any comb. They weren't doing anything in those cavities, so I don't think the bees that were hanging out in the house had a queen with them. Anyway, I guess we'll find out. I am not going to call this one a success just yet. Once I put the video up and I feel comfortable with it, I'll call it a success. So that's all for now.